So this week's episode of Chaos Child was bloody insane to say the least, but first things first, I do have to say apologies for no video on top of the screenshots you're currently looking at. I just don't have the time for a full-on review in the typical format, but next week we will be resuming as normal. But let's talk about this episode because it was a little insane, a little crazy, and a little goddamn jaw-droppingly amazing. But what I really appreciate with this episode is not because of the carnage in the bloodbath that we saw with our characters. It was at how well it was able to deceive and manipulate the viewer in thinking that Ito was the enemy. As despite Ito brutally murdering and cutting up Yui into multiple pieces and putting her into boxes, you truly thought at that moment, all along, he was playing our characters. He was playing up the vice president. He was playing up Taku. He was playing up everyone, all for revenge for Senri and what he did to her back in the day. So when the reveal came where the vice president is saying, show yourself, who is controlling him, who is forcing Ito to do this, that was honestly the best part of the episode to me because I was fooled. This entire episode, it was set up for the first half. It was pretty slow paced, not a lot was happening, it was just kind of revealed that we were trying to figure out what happened to Senri there, and essentially we learned that there is two people behind this, it wasn't just one, so these murders were still taking place, and that our main characters were still a target. But up to that point, it was very mediocre animation. There was a lot of quality dips, but then when you see Ito when you hear Ito on the phone, you then kind of clue in like, holy shit. He was playing up our main character this entire time, and the whole confrontation between them, you truly believe that he was the enemy, and though, yes, he is the enemy at that moment, it wasn't him. He was being manipulated by some other force, this second person. It isn't just him doing it, because you can see him snap back into reality saying, what did I do? She was such a good girl. So that entire confrontation was amazing to me, not just because it was twisted and it was sick and it was like, holy hell, this is carnage. It was because of how well executed it was, that it wasn't just, boom, new villain. It was, let's make the viewer think a main character was the villain to then immediately twist at the very end when he dies. That entire scene was brilliant and the highlight of this series so far, easily the best episode. Despite there being major animation hiccups in the first half, this is definitely the best episode of Chaos Child so far. I think it's now a matter of what the hell is going on? Why is this new generation madness still happening? Why is everything happening the way it is? We know Taku is back as a child in some sort of child experimentation, but seriously, what is the goal of the person behind this repeat of the new generation madness? What is their ultimate goal? And really, I have no idea. I have no theories except, is this going to happen to another of the characters? Are we going to have to see the vice president get her mind twisted and warped and do horrible things to Taku's brothers and sisters? Like, what the hell is going to happen next? I mean, just the pure carnage and creativity, as it was such a red herring, it truly was. This episode, despite the issues I had with the first half, immediately seeing the execution and the ending take fruition, immediately made this entire episode worth it and so damn incredible. Just the facial details on Ito as well as the vice president as well as our main character, they were insane. You truly felt disgusted, you felt uncomfortable watching these characters lose their mind, the blood coming from his eyes. This was a really good episode. Honestly, this was a fantastic episode, and I thought this was going to be a more simple, just okay kind of, I wouldn't even need to talk about this episode. This seems like it's just going to be the middle episode, and boy was I wrong by the time the second half rolled around. I mean, this is honestly insane. I'm really, really interested to see what this is going to do to Taku, but also the vice president. As the vice president, I don't think she's going to recover from something like this. She just had to deal with Senri dying, but now to see Yui brutalized in such a way, this is going to traumatize her, and I'm wondering if that's going to then set her mind in motion to losing who she is. I'm really impressed with this series overall. Looking back at what Chaos Head was in terms of the anime, it was just, it turned much more into a shonen around this point, and so far, this feels much more like a thriller with this, and this is what I've been hearing that this is the type of series, Chaos Head should have been in terms of its anime. But I have to say, I'm just interested to see where next week's goes, what's going to happen to Taku? Are the negative delusions going to take over his mind? Who the hell is going to die next? And what is the ultimate end goal for this new generation copycat here? Because this was a fantastic episode, but I'd be interested to hear What the hell are people thinking of this crazy ass episode of Chaos Child? Because I have to say, easily the best episode so far, even with the animation issues in the first half. This was a splendid, fantastic episode. And like I said, apologies for this format. This won't be happening for any other videos, at least that I know of. Just didn't have the time for the full video format there because otherwise I'd have set up equipment, render, upload, everything time-wise. Would have been too much time, but this is much more quickly, but I had to get my thoughts out. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and before you leave, please be sure to hit that like button to show your support, and be sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.